Somewhere in the mountains, far from roads and noise, a piece of land sits waiting. The terrain is uneven, raw, untouched. Nothing here yet but soil, stone, and open sky. A survey team arrives first. They move across the clearing with quiet precision, driving stakes into the earth, stretching lines between points, defining the invisible boundary where a building will one day stand. Then the machines come in. An excavator begins removing the topsoil layer by layer, controlled and methodical, displacing earth that has been undisturbed for generations. The trenches follow, cut deep and straight, their rectangular geometry already hinting at the form that will rise above them. Up close, the walls of the trench reveal the true character of this ground. Compacted earth, rock, sediment laid down over centuries, now exposed and ready to receive something permanent. Wooden formwork goes in next, outlining the exact shape of the foundation, workers adjusting each board with care, checking level and alignment before anything is locked into place. Steel reinforcement bars are laid inside the forms, a precise grid of intersecting metal designed to distribute load across every square centimeter of the structure above. Concrete flows in through a hose, thick and continuous, filling every corner of the form, finding its own level as workers guide the pour from one end to the other. The surface is worked smooth, long tools dragging across the wet concrete, removing air pockets, leaving behind a flat and even plane. Then it cures.
Time passes, light shifts across the clearing, and the concrete hardens into something that will not move. When the formwork is stripped away, the foundation stands clean and exact, a perfect geometric base set into the mountain terrain, ready for what comes next. A truck winds its way up the mountain road, carrying a shipping container secured to its flatbed. The road curves and narrows, the forest closes in on both sides, and the container moves through it all like something from another world entirely. It arrives on site and the crane is waiting. Workers guide the unloading with precision, the scale of the operation suddenly clear against the landscape around it. The first container rises into the air, steel cables pulling taut, the metal box swinging gently as it climbs. Sunlight catches the surface. The crane holds it steady and then lowers it slowly onto the foundation, workers signaling with their hands until it touches down exactly where it needs to be. The second container follows, positioned alongside the first, and from above, the modular layout begins to take shape. 2 units side by side, aligned and spaced with engineering precision. More containers arrive, the footprint expands. The crane moves methodically, placing each module into its calculated position, the structure growing outward across the foundation. From the air, the geometry is clear, a grid of steel boxes forming the base plan of a home. Workers move in to anchor each container to the foundation, drilling through steel plates and driving bolts into the concrete below, locking the structure in place against anything the mountain can throw at it. Then the crane returns for the upper level. A container rises above the first floor and is set down on top, the building stepping upward into 2 levels, the silhouette changing completely against the sky. Welders move along every joint, sparks arcing in slow bursts, metal fusing to metal, the connections becoming permanent. The structure is solid. Now it begins to be transformed. Industrial cutting tools open large sections of the container walls, sparks and fragments flying as the raw steel gives way to light and air. The cut edges are reinforced immediately, additional framing restoring what the cuts have weakened, structural integrity maintained at every step. Internal steel beams are welded into place, spanning the new openings, carrying the loads that the original walls once held. Moving through the interior now, the transformation is already visible. Multiple containers merged into a single continuous space, walls partially removed, the industrial shell opening up into something that feels, for the first time, like a home. Roof framing goes across the top, connecting the modules into a unified structure.
Then the exterior work begins. Insulation panels cover the raw steel walls, layer by layer, sealing the building against the cold. A waterproof membrane is stretched across the roof and walls, sealed at every seam, protecting everything beneath it. Large glass frames are lifted into the prepared openings, workers guiding them carefully into position, the mountains already reflecting in the glass before the installation is even complete. Exterior cladding follows, wood panels and dark metal finishes applied over the insulated shell, the industrial container disappearing behind materials that belong to this landscape, the building beginning to look like something designed rather than assembled. Inside, the work continues without pause. Thermal insulation fills every cavity in the walls, workers pressing panels into place between the metal studs, the interior becoming warmer with every layer added. Electricians run cables through the wall framing, color-coded, organized, mapped to a system that will power every corner of this space. Plumbers set pipes below the floor and inside the walls, the water supply and drainage network taking shape within the building's structure.
Above, HVAC ducts are routed through the ceiling space, the air circulation system woven between the structural elements. Drywall panels go up over all of it, covering the insulation, the cables, the pipes, and the industrial interior begins its final disappearance. Workers apply joint compound across the seams, smoothing each one by hand, preparing the surfaces for paint. Ceiling panels are fitted with recessed openings for lighting, the geometry of the interior becoming clean and intentional. The floor is leveled, compounds spread across the subfloor, tools pulling it smooth, and then the wood planks go down, one row at a time, warm tones spreading across the space, the interior finally beginning to feel like somewhere a person might want to live. Paint is rolled across the walls and ceilings in soft, neutral tones, and the rooms become bright and calm, the panoramic windows filling every surface with reflected mountain light. The kitchen takes shape along one wall, cabinets assembled and fixed in place, a stone countertop lifted and set with precision, appliances fitted into cabinetry and connected to the systems behind the walls. The bathroom is tiled and fitted, glass shower panels set into stone, fixtures aligned and sealed, the small space clean and complete. Doors are hung throughout the interior, hinges adjusted, handles set, each room closing off into its own quiet. The lights come on. One by one, the recessed fixtures illuminate the rooms evenly, and the construction site disappears for good. What remains is a finished interior, warm and still. Furniture arrives. A sofa is placed to face the glass. The fireplace is set into the living room wall, its unit fitted flush with the surface around it. The final cleaning runs through every room. Dust and debris removed, surfaces wiped clean, floors polished. And then it is done. Standing in the middle of the completed interior, the panoramic windows hold the mountain landscape like a painting that changes with the light. Outside, the building stands in full. Clean lines, natural materials, glass that holds the sky. The drone moves around it slowly, revealing every side. The terrace, the cladding, the windows, the levels, all of it composed and quiet in its setting. From a wider angle, the house sits within the terrain, surrounded by trees and rock, the natural environment preserved on all sides. Daylight moves across the glass and wood and metal, the materials responding differently to every hour of the day. As evening comes, the interior lights warm the glass from within, the building glowing softly against the darkening slope. Night falls, and the contrast becomes complete. Dark mountain, warm light, the house a quiet presence in the landscape. In a brief series of images, the journey replays. Excavation, containers rising, sparks flying, glass going in, wood laid across the floor. Every stage compressed into a few seconds, the full arc of the project visible in a single breath. Then, the golden hour arrives, and the building is at its most itself. Light warming every surface, long shadows crossing the clearing, the structure still and confident in the place it has claimed. The drone pulls back. The house grows smaller within the frame.
The valley opens up around it, vast and unhurried, and from high above, the completed container home rests at the center of the landscape, small and deliberate against the scale of the mountains, as the final frame holds still and the story of its making comes to a close.